gentlemen, thank you for the kind words of introduction by the President of the College of Cardiology, Dr. Anirudh Patirana. It is indeed an honor to deliver this oration under your presidency. President, members of the Council, family of the Dr. late G.R. Handy, who's joining us online, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. George Rajanagam Handy was born in 1902 to an illustrious family in Jaffna. His father was late Reverend C.C. Handy, was the first Ceylonese principal at St. John's College, Jaffna, in whose memory stands the Handy Memorial Library. George Rajanagam Handy was left with a widowed mother at a tender age of 6 years. Helped by his elder brother, Reverend J.T.N. Handy, and devoted mother, he completed a brilliant school career studded with many prizes, both at St. John's College, Jaffna and Trinity College, Kandy, and joined the Ceylon Medical College. In the medical college, he won Lucy Diabru Gold Medal and Dr. D. Here Memorial Prize in Physiology. It is said that he came first in all exams and gained a first class at the final exam, passing out as a medical officer in 1927. He completed his postgraduate studies in the United Kingdom, where he won the gold medal in DTM&H and returned to the island as the first post-World War physician. He is known as a great teacher and clinician who had a very large patient base from Point Pedro to Dondra and across the whole country. As a physician, his main interest was cardiology. Dr. Handy's interest in cardiology was so much that the Sri Lanka Heart Association came into being after an informal meeting held at his residence in 1969, attended by Dr. N.J. Valpalli, Dr. Teva Bule, Dr. S.J. Stephen, and Dr. A.T.W.P. Jayawardena. Dr. Handy was elected the first president of the Sri Lanka Heart Association and held the post till 1972. After a devoted career in medicine and cardiology, Dr. Handy expired in 1995 at the age of 93. The service to the field of cardiology continues by Dr. G.R. Handy Memorial Trust, spearheaded by his only daughter, Dr. Srikanthi Handy. In honor of this great physician, donated by the G.R. Handy Memorial Trust, stands the G.R. Handy Memorial Unit constructed on the third floor of the new cardiothoracic building at the National Hospital of Sri Lanka, Colombo, and Dr. G.R. Handy Memorial Cardiology Unit at the Teaching Hospital, Jaffna. I hope my oration this morning on when technology and pre-hospital care joins hands to save lives will do justice to the memory of this great physician. Historically, the ambulance service has been viewed as an organization responsible for the transportation of sick people into hospital. But because of advances in surgical techniques, resuscitation, pharmacology, this has led to the discipline of pre-hospital emergency care becoming established and recognized as an important part of the patient total care. Prior to 2016, Sri Lanka lacked a dedicated pre-hospital care ambulance service that covered the entire country. In 2015, the current chairman of 1990 Suwaseriya, Mr. Duminda Ratnayaka, Professor Asita De Silva, and politician Dr. Harsha De Silva, based on their personal experiences, discussed the need for a dedicated pre-hospital care ambulance service for the whole island. As a result, the government of Sri Lanka managed to secure a grant from the people of India to establish a pre-hospital care emergency ambulance service. Therefore, in 2016, 1990 Suwaseriya was able to commence with 88 ambulances starting from the southern and western provinces of the island. In 2018, to show the commitment of the government for the continuation of the project, the 1990 Suwaseriya Act was enacted in Parliament and the Board of Management was appointed by the President. Also in 2018, the Indian government gave a further grant in order to continue the service in the balance 7 provinces. By June 2019, the service has covered the entire island with 297 ambulances, and currently in the process of onboarding another 112 ambulances to the service in order to bring down the island response time to about 8.5 minutes. Currently, Suwaseriya is under the Ministry of COVID-19 Control, Primary Care and Epidemics. We receive about 5,300 plus calls a day, and out of that, 1,000 plus incidents are handled on a daily basis. 98.9% of the calls are answered in the first ring, and a country average of 11 minutes 25 seconds from the time of the call to the patient location. But in Colombo, this is less. This is about 8.5 minutes. Situation changed during the pandemic, but now it's slowly getting back to the same state. Up to last night, from inception, the service has answered 4.6 million calls and attended to more than 1 million incidents. Comparing the service with other countries like the London ambulance service and the New South Wales ambulance service, Suwaseriya has a major task at hand, comparing the number of patients per ambulance and the area that needs to cover. But we are hoping with the onboarding of the balance 112 ambulances, we will be able to bring down the country average to 8.5 minutes. Also, in these countries, they do triage for most cases. But at Suwaseriya, any medical emergency is considered an emergency, other than where a patient calls for a transfer to a clinic, which is refused. All ambulances are based in police stations and are digitally managed. 38% of the calls or the incidents that we handle are either cardiac or unconscious related. Having in mind our motto, save a life, bringing in technology to save valuable minutes and to have an efficient operation was needed. The Emergency Command and Control Center at Rajagiriya, the only central management unit, if you call 1990, your call will land at one of these screens of one of the call center agents. The agent will get your district, your town, and a location. The system will show us the fastest ambulance to the location, not the nearest. Because always nearest will not be the fastest. After getting the balance details, the ambulance will be dispatched. The data that was captured on the call, initial call, will be transmitted to the ambulance for them to see the way to proceed to the patient location. Also, the system is digitally ready in the event of a road traffic accident or an assault. The data to be transferred to the respective police station. Our backend is ready, but for the time being, what we do is there is a 119 police officer in the at the call center that information is digitally transferred to his screen, where he will radio the data information to the necessary police station. When the ambulance is allowed only 90 seconds from the time we assign the call to the ambulance to leave the base. This is digitally monitored as well. When the emergency medical technician reaches the patient would assess, the emergency medical technician would assess the patient and call the doctors in the call center with the details. It will be the doctors who will instruct the emergency medical technician on the treatment, and the doctor will decide to which hospital the patient should be taken. The doctor screen is equipped with the patient location and the nearest hospitals depending on the cases. The moment the doctor decides on the hospital, once again the location on the navigator is updated for the driver or the pilot, which we call, to go to the directions to reach the hospital. Also, the moment the ambulance reaches the hospital, our systems get updated that the ambulance has reached the hospital. Once they hand over and leave the hospital, once again the systems get updated so that ambulance can go online and ready for another case. Apart from the 1990 number that you will dial, you can use the 1990 app as well. It saves valuable minutes because you don't need to tell us where your location. Also, you don't need to tell the agent the route, directions, anything. On the ambulance arrival also, this data is transferred to the ambulance. This app is also available for the tourists who plan to come to Sri Lanka. This can be installed while they are in their own country. Managing officers all over the country is not easy. And these officers don't have a manager. They are only individual teams. So the use of technology comes handy once again. The iSign app, which we use for clocking in, clock off, gives the location, the time in, and also at the moment it's a picture. But currently we are in the process of updating it for facial recognition. Then the district officers, fleet teams, audit teams who are on the field for their movement management and also notes and comments, all those are digitally managed through the eVisit app. It's not only apps that we develop, but there are free apps also that we use, like WhatsApp, with different communication groups, which are created based on a protocol. The audits, follow-ups, and patient care reports, all are on apps. The patient care report that is currently on a manual form, the moment the patient is handed over, this app, the patient care report is updated to the app so that the quality team can review him as soon as possible. Stock management, ambulance stock levels are all based on apps. Minimum stock levels, days handover, everything is on app basis because that is one of the ways to reduce wastage. And also expiry items. 4 months before an item is expired, when the indent goes to one location, those items are brought back to the head office and distributed in the Colombo district. But it is pulled out 1 month before it's expired. This way, we manage to reduce wastage. Fuel monitoring is a problem for most organizations. We use the fuel monitoring apps, swipe cards, and we have 2 swipe cards for each location. The data we gather from the swipe card, data we gather from the app, and our historical data from the system. The moment the fueling is done, the system analyzes and alerts the fleet team if there is a kilometer usage difference from the previous few times, in order for the fleet team to get activated to see whether it's a failure in the ambulance performance. We have a digital link with the SLMA doc call 247. For the last pandemic, when a patient calls the 247 number, the doctor who answers the phone, if the doctor feels the patient needs to go into a hospital immediately, the doctor from the phone will enter a code so that that data is transmitted directly into our call center system, and an agent will dispatch the ambulance immediately. Practice makes a man perfect. We believe in this a lot. Therefore, trainings, drills, our practices are very serious at Suwaseriya. We do quite a lot of training with the CBRN units. EMT trainings, refresher trainings every 3 months is compulsory. Australia New Zealand College of Paramedics comes down to Sri Lanka quite often to provide free of charge training to us. And also, we have found there are 132 steps from the time an ambulance goes to a patient location till the time we hand over the patient to the hospital. Therefore, if we lose 1 second at every step, that is more than 2 minutes, which is might be between life and death. Every morning, when the shift hands over, the team is supposed to go through a set of practice exercises, patient carrying, moving, lifting kind of exercises, in order to be at the fullest efficiency level. Failovers, disaster management. End to end, from the call center to the ambulance, everything is one-to-one mapped. The call center can operate in the event of a total power failure. The digital lines failing that we get from SLT fails. We can move over to copper lines and make sure that our objective is fulfilled to save a life. With the Easter Sunday attack, the systems are further modified that we can even work remotely in a crisis to dispatch ambulances and give a service. With the pandemic, we saw different challenges. One was how to do the continuous training. A learning management system is now in development so that we can continue our trainings without any difficulty. We have our partnership with GVK EMRI India, where we sent our EMTs for the initial training. Sri Lanka Society of Critical Care and Emergency Medicine are the doctors who are in the call center advising our teams on all the emergencies. Also, the Sri Lanka Society of Critical Care and Emergency Medicine conducts our 3-month refresher training, because naturally they are the doctors who are constantly in contact with our EMTs and they see the gaps as well. Australian and New Zealand College of Paramedics, who comes down often. Then Sri Lanka College of Cardiology and College of Surgeons. They help us on trainings, advice quite often. Sri Lanka Medical Association and Suwaseriya has signed up an MOU for this providing of the service for the 247 doc call service. This will be a screen soon in the hospitals to let know the hospital that a patient is coming with the time, the patient status, and the ambulance number. The back end of the system is now ready with us. We are in discussion with hospitals and the ministry to get it deployed. Going further, this system can be linked to the hospital bed management system one day. So that way, in a crisis, we need not go to a hospital to see whether there is a ETU bed available. If the system is updated, we can bypass one particular hospital if the hospital is full. For example, the Easter tag. If the system gets updated and we know one particular hospital is full, we can move the patients to the other hospital. Currently, the patient care report is a manual form. We are now digitizing it so that as and when it is filled, an analytic engine will analyze the treatment, the equipment use, and the kind of the situation, and alert if there are process violations or any other issue. First responder safety is also a very serious factor. Currently, we are adhering to all guidelines, and also learning from the Beirut explosion. We are in discussion with the Disaster Management Center. In the event we get a call for a blast or a fire, the system will cross-check with the Disaster Management Center's database on hazardous material and alert us whether we could go in first or we need to contact the CBRN units. Also, we are in development of a exposure alert sensor to be worn on the mask of all our staff who are on the field. In the event they are not wearing when a case is assigned, if they are not wearing the mask when the case is assigned, or there's a leakage in the mask, this would first alert the wearer and also will alert the call center. I think most of us have elderly parents. The fall detection system is a system we are developing with 2 local organizations. If the wearer falls, this will alert our call center, and our call center agent will call first, and if there is a need, we will dispatch the ambulance. Also, the same can be worn for motorcyclists. Generally, what you have seen is it takes about 5 minutes from the time an accident happened for somebody to remember and call 190. If the wearer is wearing the bracelet, the moment there is a massive fall or a massive jerk, this would trigger the call center where we can send an ambulance immediately, because that few minutes it's a matter of life and death. Also, we are hoping to give the cost incurred by the government or the people of this country for each and every incident. It's not a bill, but it's only indication to the people that so much was spent for this particular incident. Now, connected ambulance is not a science fiction or that is away so many years. This project is already in progress. We are doing the pilot project at the moment. All the dash cams, patient cabin cameras, the multi-para monitor data, the 12-lead ECG, the AR glasses that will be worn by the EMT, all visuals and data will be transmitted to the doctor in our call center, who can take a better decision when advising on the treatment of patients. With the help of the college, we are in the process of procuring the 12-lead ECGs. When that is done, the data will be transmitted initially to our doctors in the call center. In the event the doctor decides that this patient needs to be moved to a cath lab, that data will be transmitted to the physician in the nearest cath lab, and based on that advice, we will bypass the hospital and move the patient directly to a cath lab. This project we are hoping to start within next year. It's already in progress. A lot of people have helped us to get to where we are today. Firstly, I need to thank the President, Council and the members of the Sri Lanka College of Cardiology, the Chairman and the Board of Management of Suwaseriya, also Dr. Srila De Silva, who's in the audience today, our Chief Medical Officer, Sri Lanka Society of Critical Care and Emergency Medicine, all the local and international partnering colleges and associations who have been helping us a lot, the DGHS and his team at Ministry of Health, our own ministry, we call the COVID Ministry, but it's actually the Ministry of COVID Control, Primary Health Care and Epidemics, all the medical professionals, hospital staff who are helping us and supporting us day in, day out. Also, my family of 1,394 EMTs, pilots, and all the other staff who are committed to save a life day in, day out. I will not be able to pinpoint one person who is just working for a salary. All of them go beyond their call of duty just to make sure that they save a life. This team works like a Formula One team where each person does their assigned job well more than what is expected. Finally, the family members of my staff who have given the support and the permission to do what they are doing. If not for their support and encouragement, our staff also will not be able to perform like this. And also, this goes to my wife, who's in the audience as well, who is tolerating me for my late night calls and my work during the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sohan De Silva, for that oration. And may I say, personally, I am in absolute awe of the service that you are doing, and I can only hope that you continue to do the same for our country. The service that you are doing is incredible, and I hope that you have the strength and the courage and the support to continue doing the same that you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Another round of applause, please, to Mr. Sohan De Silva. So the next item on the agenda